Guys, listen up. Barbell Apparel is hooking you up with their early Black Friday deals. Starting November 4th, and this is their biggest sale of the year. You can grab any pair of their pants, jeans, chinos, the anything pants, or the sold-out covert pants for just $99. Here's why athletes love these pants. They've got an unbeatable fit designed for freedom of movement. It doesn't matter if you're lifting, running, or just going about your day. These pants move with you. The quality is top-notch. Built to last, and if the size isn't perfect, no problem. Barbell Apparel has got a size exchange guarantee. Being an athlete isn't just in the gym. It's a mindset that you carry every day. And you need gear that keeps up with you. That's why I choose Barbell Apparel. Whether I'm throwing around weights or I'm going out for the night, I look good, I feel good, and I perform even better. So head to barbellapparel.com starting November 4th. Grab your pants for just $99 and experience the best for yourself. These deals won't last, so don't wait.
Rakhmonov versus Ian Garry. Final pay-per-view of the year. The kids call it 310 out in Las Vegas, and this thing, I mean, I'm bringing you day-old bread here, right? But I thought it was a title fight for one. I thought it was a title fight, and that kind of bothered me. We don't generally interim something. We generally would show grace, is what I'm saying. So, and I'm talking about towards, in this case, Blal. So I like that it's not an interim title fight. And it would go without saying that is a number one contenders match. I don't know if we've ever had a number one contenders match that goes without saying. You have the two guys with the most beautiful records in the sport. The most beautiful in the sport. Will you put Garry in that conversation? Is he 15-0 at this point? Rakhmonov 19-0 all finishes. That's crazy. What a great job. And you get those guys together, but I am a little bit surprised that we were able to get those guys together because you're going to succeed at doing one thing. You're going to eliminate one of them. Right, you got these beautiful and the must go, but those are guys that can both fight for titles. But if you put them in there together, you cost yourself a title fight. And so it's just something under a normal circumstance that wouldn't happen. Now, I'm praising this situation. I'm bringing this to other young fighters. Young fighters are out there. How do I get in the UFC? The number one way is the number one way to do anything in life. Be willing to do something that other people are not willing to do. There is no better way to get a job anywhere than to be willing to do something that other people are not willing to do. And there's more that goes into that than just an attitude and raising your hand. There's also a physical side, particularly in this sport, where you've got to be ready. You've got to be within striking distance to make the weight class, for example. But Shavkat Rakhmonov has a meaningful advantage here, and it's in one regard. He was planning to fight 5 rounds. Ian Garry was not planning to fight 5 rounds. So there's enough time, but there's just enough time, and I'm bringing that to your attention moreover because we've got a 5-round co-main event that is the feature match, right? That's the moneymaker. I thought it was the main event, and it's not a main event or a title fight. What the hell is it doing 5 rounds? And we're seeing more and more of this. Now, I will tell you what, I don't like it. I love the fight. I don't like that a non-title fight, non-main event, at times is 5 rounds. I wouldn't mind if they were all 5 rounds. What I'm saying is I don't like not knowing. And I used to be able to know. And it would even affect my predictions. Right? Nobody's more consistent with their predictions than me, but my prediction will change fight to fight if it's 3 rounds versus 5 rounds. Ian Garry is a very live dog in a 3-round fight. 5-round, it changes the scenario completely, right? You got basic math under a 10-9 must system, and I'm just bringing to your attention that I shouldn't have to read the fine print. I should be able to say, is it for an interim title? No. Is it the main event? No. And now I know it's a 15-minute contest. Or we switch it completely. And I only have one big problem with 5-round fights, which is in the Super Bowl, we don't play 5 quarters. In the Olympic gold medal match for a 100-yard sprint, we don't make it 102 yards, right? No game is played differently for a title than it is played for every other game. And that bothers me. I just think it's weird. I'm bothered by it because I don't overly enjoy having to explain it to people. Basketball in the championship game, it's not worth 4 points a basket. Free throws are worth 2 points. It's the same. It's got to be the same. So I've proven my point on that. I'm just sharing with you. Are we starting to see a trend? Is this switched over? Is it switched over to the extent that we can ask Dana, hey, look, are all co-main events now 5 rounds? Are all number one contenders matches 5 rounds? Is there anything that we can hang our hat on to understand the rules and procedures, administratively and otherwise? If it's a number one contendership match, if that's the reason why, then how can you win a 3-round fight as evidence that you should be the top draw for a 5-round fight? If that is why, should we also have them make scratch weight? And I'm wondering how we got here. We got here originally, and this is off of my memory, but the first time that we ever saw this was Nate Diaz versus Leon Edwards. And it was such a good fight, and it was such a big fight, that we decided to make it our 5-round fight. And you got to pay enough money for Nate Diaz that if you need him for another 10 minutes to make this thing pencil, the rest of us understand and we're happy to kick in, right? Am I speaking for all of us? Sure, we'll do that for Nate. But then it started happening again and again, and it's like anything when you have a precedence. But I do like structure. I need structure. I need an area of structure. I got to tell you, I'm struggling with this whole idea that Tom Aspinall is the interim champion in the presence of Jon Jones, because they introduced Jon Jones as the undisputed champion. They said that's what we were fighting for. That's what they called him at the end of the night. That's what he believes he is right now. You're not undisputed if there's an interim champion. That's exactly what disputed versus undisputed means. And I'm only hanging my hat on that is because at some point there has to be structure. If something doesn't mean anything, then nothing means anything. I don't want to make an overly big deal about it. I just want to bring it to your attention. And I'm asking why, because there could be a reason that just hasn't been stated or that I have missed. And perhaps this is what we're going to do with all perceived number one contenders matches. But how far is that going to go? Because it's not just the company's decision or the athlete's agreement. You have a governing body known as the commission that then has to oversee those kinds of things. So, are we just doing this for any fight we like? Are we just doing this because we think our main event is so weak? Are we doing this because they're number one contenders? Are we doing it because we want to get Rakhmonov as close to what we promised Rakhmonov? And if we've got a different opponent, we don't have the belt, we're going to keep it the same rounds. I can live with all of it. But I think that you guys would agree with me. There's nothing wrong with me wanting to know.